Aloha, I'd like to welcome you to Prince John Internet TV, the place where we turn ourselves into more noble, more pure, and kind individuals. I'm reading a book called Think Yourself Rich. I encourage you to check it out. I'll, I'll be doing a video on that soon. But for now, more thoughts. Feelings simply happen to me. It's my behavior is that what counts. It's me. That's what I do. I have to decide whether things are true or not for me and respect others' beliefs. For instance, are spirits entities I can interact with? Do I believe in reincarnation or simply completely starting anew and rebirthing, which is what I believe? And that religious rituals can only be effectively done by oneself, as opposed to hoping somebody else will do them for me. Like somebody else might pray for me. I mean, it can work, but I'd like to take full responsibility and balance my life out. And if I want to change, I have to change my thoughts and reprogram myself. Alright, so remember, people may look nice and may have a nice personality, but it's important to judge the type of food they eat, their relationship standards, and religious rituals to decide whether or not they are truly similar to me and they are actually my spiritual family. These are the most important things in life as far as I'm concerned. Relationship standards involve how a person deals with how they're going to get married. For instance, my goal is to communicate via the internet or a dating website with a person and indirectly through third parties until I'm thoroughly convinced via photographs and via just dialogue and everything that this person is for me. And then we plan a marriage date and we go all the way through all four bases and hit a home run in the bedroom on the first night, as opposed to doing something more lukewarm, which would be like having a boyfriend or girlfriend. Now, religious rituals are how we deal with life. What's our response when we're in the most difficult time? Some people say they like to pray to a supernatural entity, quote unquote, the Christian God. I like to do light work. What do you like to do? I think that freedom's enemy is the concept of a monarchy, and freedom is associated with true democracy. And using the resources we have, such as the internet, we can tally and collect votes on various issues and create a real democracy, and not just have it centralized in power in a limited amount of people, but a democracy for everybody who has the privilege to cast votes. Alright. I think one mistake the rich might make is to simply give cash money to the poor. Rather, I think it's strategic to give them charitable things like food and housing, and, by the way, segregated housing for the men and women. That way they can't have intercourse and have children and perpetuate the cycles of poverty, but rather food, housing, education, and not money. And I think some people, it would be preferable to offer them assisted suicide, such as homeless, crippled people. You know, just make it a positive thing. Make it, we're going to leave this body and we're going to enter into a new one in which we'll have a better chance at living an enjoyable life and uniting with an amazing spouse. Alright. Remember, it's historically easy to monopolize gold, but the greenback currency that Abraham Lincoln created, which is backed by the good faith and work ethic of the American people, is really what we want to depend on. Let's make this money our money, Americans, my fellow Americans. And let's be American. Let's speak English. You know, people who are from foreign countries, if you want to live here, consider some of the values we have here, like speaking good English, and maybe try and take a class in this regard. And perhaps the government should offer free courses in order to promote adult education for people who are first-generation Americans. All right. Anyway, you see, when American corporations started using their profits to invest in the building of their company as opposed to getting loans from the bank, they became more independent from being leveraged by a small group of people uh, by having to use bank loans. So everything is a question of financial independence and freedom, and those two concepts are interrelated. I think that workers could possibly be leaders of themselves, and eventually it may so happen to be that many people do many different jobs. Maybe a doctor is a janitor one day, for instance, and with the right type of education and equal practices and opportunities, everyone has incredible potential for growth and living a balanced, harmonious lifestyle and doing all types of fun varieties of work as opposed to feeling a sense of boredom in life. See you next time. Aloha.